Hey there, Sagittarius. This is your tarot card reading for the week of March the 14th to March 20th, 2022. On the 18th of March, there is a full moon in Virgo. And the energy of that full moon affects you in the 10th house of ambition. So that has to do with your career, making your mark in the world, and success that you get from the work that you do. So, something to keep in mind also with the full moon in Virgo would be a good time to release whatever is not in your best interests, and one of those things to release is criticism of yourself and of others. So what you have here is this breathe card. This card basically says to slow down, to meditate, to breathe in, breathe out. So let's take a look at what you've been doing lately, Sagittarius, where you need to breathe. You have 8 of Wands. So it seems you've just been on the go. Some goal, some project that you're doing, and it looks like you're on target, but you've just been in motion. Let's take a look in what aspect of your life this is taking place. You have the 6 of Cups, which indicates sense of the past, inner child, also even maybe past relationships. So let's take a look at that. You have the King of Swords. So I'm kind of sensing here that maybe you have been in the past more on the go and really looking at kind of where you've been in the past, where you are now, and where you want to go. Because the King of Swords is really about power and authority, setting boundaries, communicating on behalf of themselves and others. And it's also about not a coldness, there is compassion there, but a sense of being disconnected a little bit. So let's take a look at that. If you've been disconnected from things. You have the Judgment card here. So it is kind of indicating a moment of truth to reflect on your past and let go of things that have not been working for you. Honestly, looking at your actions, the things you said in past situations, kind of own up to it, take responsibility for it, but to release whatever baggage that might be attached to it. So let's take a look at what baggage you might be carrying. You have the Queen of Cups. So it's basically very much coming from a place of emotions, living in your emotions. Although, you know, it's being empathetic and using your intuition to connect with people, there is the downside of being controlled by your emotions entirely. So it's almost as if so it's interesting, you have the King of Swords here, which is very much air on air. And then the Queen of Cups, which is water on water. In the sense that kings are associated with the with swords, the element of air, and queens are associated with the element of water. So it's almost as if there is a conflict or something that it's almost like either or, but let's see the best way to blend those together for you. You have the King of Cups. So this is pretty much air and water. Perfect. So with the King of Cups, I'll take notice of how this Breathe card and the King of Cups, let's see if you can see a little bit better. They're both like closing their eyes and meditating, breathing. I even like mix those two cards up because they're very similar in what they're doing. So with the King of Cups, it is being steady in emotions, able to, what's the word, kind of balance your emotions in a steady, I don't necessarily like the word control because it's almost as if you're stifling your emotions. The King of Cups is just centered and knows how much they can take of someone else's emotions. They're stable like the King of Swords in the sense of making decisions and having a sense of boundaries for themselves and for others, but also being, I would say the King of Cups more supportive in coming from a place of understanding, whereas the King of Swords is more from a place of reason, and it might not really matter about an understanding of the situation. So I'm going to take a look here in terms of this situation here on whether the King of Swords is kind of you or something that you inherited or picked up from someone else. You have the Temperance card, that is you. Sagittarius, that's your card. So it's almost like a blend. The blend of your past and your present and trying to figure out your future. So let's see here. In this Judgment area, kind of being drawn there, there's a lot of court cards here, but I'm getting a sense it's almost you're trying to mold yourself into the characteristics of certain what's the word? Not people. The characteristics of the King of Swords or the characteristics of the King of Cups. And with this Six of Cups, it's like there's role models or people from your past that have kind of shaped those ideas for you. So I'm going to take a look at this Six of Cups over here and see what's really underneath this Six of Cups here. You have the Emperor. So it's a sense of a lesson was learned with respect to how to be stable, how to be secure, how to make decisions, be powerful it is this real, more masculine energy of asserting authority. And it could be because you were really tapped into your emotions when you were younger, and this this idea of you need to be a certain way so that you can make it in your world kind of is popping up here. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, to have masculine energy and to be able to be aggressive and assertive. But there is a fine line you have to maneuver. You have to kind of balance it out, and you have to feel. You have to tap into the feminine energies and kind of get a sense of how it feels for you, and be empathetic when it comes to other people. So let's see here. Let's take a look at what is going to, if you haven't done it already, this kind of moment of truth reflection, what will really help you kind of be in that, what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable. Allow yourself to be vulnerable and take responsibility at the same time. It's not about blame. It's about recognizing the choices that you made in the past based on the information that you knew in the past and the situations that presented themselves to you in the past. And it has a purpose for then, and whether or not that the usefulness of whatever happened, it could be multiple things that happen, whether or not their usefulness applies now, and it's really about perspective. So let's see what will allow you to be both vulnerable and take responsibility. Brave. Vulnerable and brave. Let's see here. You have the Page of Cups, which is seeing the world through the eyes of a child and the possibility of it. So it's kind of tying back into this Six of Cups aspect in the inner child. So really getting in touch with that part of you that saw potential, curiosity about life, and limitless possibilities. You can see in this Page of Cups, the page is looking up and seeing their feet and pigs flying. So having that sense of wonder and allowing yourself to go that route, it's almost opposite of the Emperor in their rigidness. So let's take a look at what this type of vulnerability and braveness will result in for you, Sagittarius. We have the Strength card. So it'll allow you to see the parts of yourself that you might have shoved to the side and didn't want to recognize, perhaps because you or someone in your life identified those certain qualities as weak. And then there's some qualities that you have that are not just being courageous, but almost overbearing and like fierce in maybe a way that you didn't think was good. And recognizing all those things that you learned, parts of yourself that you might have kind of put walls and boundaries to. And I mean, this Strength card is about courage, about being brave, but also being vulnerable. So you can see this person is like half lion and they're next to this little lamb. So it's really, what I'm seeing here is maybe this Breathe card is suggesting that you really take some time, maybe meditate, relax, and not be so much in control of how things go, and start seeing potential, seeing the potential of what you could have. Not, you can still become whatever you want to be, but there's certain ideas, how those ideas of the characteristics took shape. So if you want to be the King of Swords, or have those characteristics, or if you want to have the characteristics of the Queen of Cups or the King of Cups, or have a balance between them, recognize what aspects of yourself you have ignored, and really release any type of shame or guilt that you have in the decisions you made in the past and the beliefs that you had in the past. So I'm going to pull another oracle card to see the animal totem that can help you this week of March the 14th. So in terms of the energy being in your house of ambition, it seems to be fitting in terms of this idea of being the emperor and having kind of almost an idea of success, and what that means for you in the past and what that means for you now. And to get a fuller sense of the picture, be sure to take a look at the readings for your sun, moon, and rising signs. So here we have Ladybug, good luck. You are a bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. So this Ladybug good luck energy that will help you be more vulnerable and brave as you reflect on your past and embrace all aspects of you. I'm hoping this provides some helpful perspective, and we'll see you next time. Take care.